Hi, welcome back to OneClimate.net's coverage of the Cochabamba Climate Change Conference. We're now going to talk to one of our contacts on the ground in Cochabamba, a filmmaker. Joanne, can you hear me? Hello, Joanne? Hi, Joanne.
Hi there, Henry.
Hi, good to speak to you. Thanks for joining us. So I gather you're there on the ground in Cochabamba, enjoying the conference?
Yes, absolutely. It's fantastic here.
How does it compare to your expectations of what this week was going to be like?
You know what? I have really not sure what to expect. I've never been to South America before, so this was an amazing initiation to this country. And there are individuals from every country from South America here, and Costa Rica, all over the place, all over the world. So but the number of indigenous peoples here and people from this continent is phenomenal. It's incredibly colorful. They call it a people's conference, and it truly is in every sense of the word.
And just give us an idea. For Copenhagen, I think what we heard was sleepless nights, frantic, trying to get into venues, trying to protest, trying to sort of force your way into the scene, as it were. I imagine it's a very different scene there in Cochabamba.
Yes, well, they say the Bolivians have a certain way of doing things, and it's been there's a huge amount of energy here. There are lots of sleepless nights as well, for individuals. I mean, especially the individuals like Cormac Cullinan, who's been working on the declaration and drafting it up into the wee hours, of the night. We were supposed to be speaking to him earlier, as you know, but he was called away to present the declaration to the heads of state. So unfortunately, we weren't able to speak to him this morning. But there is, there's been an introduction to the coca leaf here to many individuals, which has helped people stay awake. And it's just incredible. It's incredibly colorful, just incredibly colorful. Yeah.
Well, remember not to bring too much back. And let's talk about that a bit, because we've heard from Evo Morales, we've heard about the heads of state, and yet this is a people's conference. This is meant to include social movements. So how's that working out? Is there a tension between the participation of heads of state, the real high levels, and the social movements, the base, as we are, of people involved in climate change? How's that sort of dual alliance playing out in the conference?
Yeah, I think it's difficult for me to actually articulate that. I mean, I know that there was a presentation of the working groups yesterday afternoon. The working groups has been a real key focus of this event. There's been, I think, 17 or 18 working groups looking at agriculture and food, Mother Earth rights, harmony with nature, climate change issues, strategies for advancing harmony with nature. And so these working groups were exactly that. There were individuals from all around the world who are together, who are setting goals and tasks, and looking at how they can, move this kind of, system change, forward. And this morning, I wasn't there to see it. Perhaps you're able to get some footage off some of the other streams. But there was a meeting held at one of the hotels where there was heads of state with the people, and there was going to be, an interaction, where the individuals, got to speak and ask questions directly to the heads of state, which, as we know, did not happen in Copenhagen.
Yeah, exactly. And how far, to what extent are people thinking about Copenhagen? To what extent is there that as a reference point for what this conference should or should not be, and what this conference's output should be geared towards? Are people thinking about Cancun? Are people thinking about the UN negotiating process, or are they to some extent saying, well, to hell with that, that didn't work, we can build something that represents us more fairly in this scenario?
I mean, I think there's a lot of different people here, and I think there are certainly different views, but I think people are know that Copenhagen, in Cancun is really, really important. And they're trying to use, all the good work that have been done here as strategically as possible to make as much impact on what can happen, the positive results of Copenhagen as possible. So I think that people are, there's lots of networking going on with individuals about how they can use, their energies and to create some positive results for Copenhagen. Oh, sorry, for Cancun.
Mm-hmm. And tell us about your favorite personality of the conference so far. Who have you most enjoyed meeting or seeing in the conference up till now?
Goodness, I think it's the entire conference itself. It's there isn't, I think, one individual who really stands out for me. There's a certain amount of, there's a number of events that have been changed from one location to another. So, for example, I was walking down the street, the gentleman I was taking a taxi with had dropped his wallet in the taxi, and I was going back to give it to him, and he was walking down the street with Naomi Klein because they had changed the venue, and so she was, walking, down the streets of Cochabamba, to her other venue. So it's this whole milling about of people who are on the panels, mixing with people, who are, attending the conference, the participants. There's no kind of segregation of, of